Okay, so now we want to handle the remove from cart. So let's start off we already have our constant. I already did the cart remove item. So now in the cart reducer, we need to first of all bring in that constant. So let's say cart remove item. And let's go right above the default here. Case cart remove item. Now if we're removing this, then let's return whatever we have in state, and then as far as cart items goes, we want to filter out the one that we're removing. So let's do from state.cart items, let's call filter, and say for each item we want to check to see if x.product, which is the ID, if that's not equal to the action.payload, then we're going to show it. So it's basically going to strip out whatever the ID that we remove is. So let's save that. So that one's pretty easy. And then we need an action. So let's go to cart actions. And in here we want to add a remove from cart. We also want to bring in cart remove item. Okay, now let's create, let's say export const remove from cart, and that's going to get passed in an ID. And then here we want to pass in dispatch, so we can dispatch to our reducer, and then also get state, so we can get all of the items that are in our cart, so we can reset our local storage to whatever is in the cart minus what we removed from it. So let's dispatch here an object with the type of cart remove item, and then the payload for this is going to be the ID. And then after that, let's set local storage dot set item, and it's going to be cart items. And then we want to JSON.stringify and pass in here get state, which gets our entire state tree, but we want from cart the cart items. All right, so we'll save that, and now where we want to call this is in our cart screen in the remove cart handler. So up here, let's bring in from cart actions, we want to bring in remove from cart, and let's go to our remove from cart handler. This gets passed in the ID. So what we'll do here is just dispatch remove from cart and pass in the ID. All right. So let's try it out. So let's say I no longer want the PlayStation. I'm going to hit this, goes away. You can see it calls cart remove item, state diff. So it got rid of that in the state. Now if I reload, it should stay away because our local storage was updated as well. Okay, so even if we leave and we come back, if we close the browser, it should stay away. It also updated the price too. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to want to work on is going to be the user authentication, because up to this point, there's nothing else that we really need to do other than some small stuff later on where we don't have to be logged in. So if we proceed to checkout, it's going to take us to shipping, but we have to be logged in. So we need to handle that aspect of the application. Now we're going to have basically two separate sections. The next one is going to be the back end part of the login system. We'll be using Postman to test out the JSON Web Tokens and all that. And then we'll have another section where we actually create our sign-in and register and add that to our state, have a user reducer, and all that. So in the next video, we'll start on our back-end user authentication.